Hello and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is December the 23rd, 2021. December 23rd, that means it's almost Christmas. It means we're going to finish the Advent Calendar yarn. But most of all, this marks 3 months since I did my very first video, which was September 23rd. And here it is, December 23rd. 3 months of videos. This is video number 14, I believe. And I have over 100 subscribers already. And I'm very, very thankful for that, and thankful for every one of you that watches my videos, and particularly those that make comments. I read and respond to every single comment. And while I'm talking about my viewers, I also want to send out a thank you to one of my viewers who sent me a Christmas card, my very first happy mail, I guess you would call it, that I received from Debbie, who says she so enjoys my YouTube channel. I always have such lovely creations. May you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. Your subscriber, Debbie. May your holiday season be blessed with the true meaning of Christmas. And I wish that to all of you as well. Thank you, Debbie. I really appreciate that. So let's start with what Hope and I are wearing. Now, I'm not going to say too much about what I'm wearing because I wanted to do Christmassy items, and you can see Hope is wearing green this time. But I couldn't find another Christmas item, and honestly, I'm downstairs in a lower level, and it's always quite chilly down here, and I turn on the heater before I start to warm it up, but I turn it off so the heater won't make a lot of noise while I'm videotaping. But I just felt chilly today, so I went and I put on my cocoon. This is a cocoon I wear a lot. No specific pattern, as you know. When it comes to cocoons, I just pick a stitch and go with it. And I don't even know what yarn it is. And if you look real close at this cocoon, you'll see pilling, and it's not the prettiest item, but it certainly is a very soft, very cozy cocoon. And I just felt like wearing this today since it is kind of nippy down here. But Hope does have on one of my fashion scarves again, and I didn't have time to look up which one it is. I suspect it is the sunflower pattern. It is, though, definitely a pattern by CJ Brady again. As you know, I love her patterns. And at one time, I didn't have too many other to choose from. I just had hers. You can see it's quite long, and it does have that sort of cocoon. What's the shape? I can't think right now. Boomerang. The boomerang shape to it. I will, though, before I post the video, I will look up which exact pattern it is, and I will link it below. The yarn is just, again, something from my shelf that's merino and nylon. So I picked it because it was green, so it would look a little bit festive for today. I don't make a lot of green, but this is a very nice, very pleasant one. And it's very, very soft. So I will look up the exact pattern name and link it below. So let's get on to what we've all been waiting for. We've been waiting to see what else we get in this nativity package. Now, just before I continue on, I want to do a recap. Here are, and they aren't in the original order, but here are the yarns that we got the first 8 days. I got them on this tray, and hopefully you can see them all. And these are the ones, I just caked them up last night, and I'm going to get started on the pattern that came in the package with all the yarn. I'm probably going to start it on the weekend. So that's the first week. Well, 8 days. There are 8 different ones there. I actually contacted Reggie to ask her if she used all of the yarn in her pattern. And she told me something that she had forgotten to mention, so I'll mention it. She said she actually took all of the yarns, all the mini skeins, and split them in 2. And then she used one group to make the knitted pattern, and the other half of them all to make the crochet pattern. And it made, I got some fluff in my mouth. She said the pattern actually turned out to be quite large. So I don't have a problem with splitting them. I think 8 of these will make sufficient size scarf from her pattern. And the remaining 16, I haven't quite decided what I will do with them. But anyway, here's a recap. This is day 9. And then these are the other 7 from last week. And you see how the color is progressing. And remember me mentioning this last one had the very deep, I guess you'd call it teal, and the deep green in it. So I was expecting those to be the next colors, because she has done that all the way through this. She's done a marvelous job of continuing the colors, making a really nice progression. So I was correct. Here's day 17. And look at this color. You're right, Reggie. This is absolutely beautiful, stunning. And of course, if we turn around to the darker part, it goes with the darker shades that we find in this. I love this color. I know I say blue and purple are my favorite, but I love this color as well. There are a few I'll show you at the end that I would love to have a full skein of, and this is one of them. I would love a full skein of this. So that's day 17, and as expected, day 18 is the green that is in here. So you could go right from here to here, or here to here, and then here. This could be on either side. These 3 together, if I had larger skeins of those 3, I would love to make an item with those 3. This isn't, like I said before, green isn't something I work with a lot, but that is quite pretty. So I love this one. Then that was 17 and 18. Next we go on to day 19. Now we're starting to back off the dark colors and get a little lighter. You see the green is continued, but she's going a little more to what I would call maybe aqua. I don't know if you call it aqua or turquoise. And then we have day 20. And day 20 is a different shade of green, and it's a little more aqua. It's not blue, or it's not a green for sure. It's not blue either, but it definitely goes with this. And then continuing on to day 21. Similar to 19, but a little more of the bluer color still goes with this. And then day 22. And here we have, do you call it turquoise or do you call it aqua? Now, we had a color similar to that in the last week, but there is a difference. One is darker than the other. So, there is the progression of the last 6 days. And I just have to put the one from last week in there. These are all so beautiful. I wish I had something long enough to put all of these on it. Maybe if I took off these first few, I could put this last section on here. They're going to fall off, but they really look nice. So I have to tell you, my favorites are the solids. I really like this color. I like this color. And even though purple is my favorite, I have to say in this case, of all of them, this is my favorite. And then we have, see these solids? I really like these solids. And in fact, you could take that purple out of there and do these together. Wouldn't that be pretty? I really, really like those. Although I do like the purple one. I wouldn't mind a whole skein in some of these solid ones. I don't remember where they all went now. Oh well. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. Now, day 23. So that's today, day 23, and I loosened them up before I started because they take a bit of time to untie. And so we are continuing on in this theme. A little more green in this one. Now, before I continue, I want to just mention, this is a spoiler alert. If you have this Advent calendar and you do not want to see ahead of time what you got, you don't want to spoil it, I am going to open up tomorrow's, the 24th, right now, and I am going to open up the full skein, which is intended for Christmas Day. All right, I am going to do that right now. So you might either want to shut this off and wait until after Christmas to watch it, or you might want to walk out of the room for a few minutes and come back. Your choice. But I am going to open the 24th now. And again, I untied it, but I haven't loosened it. Ooh, another shade of green. And see how nicely that goes with this last color we just opened. Very, very nice matching. I have to say that it was beautiful the way all of these colors progressed and matched each other. I don't think I've ever seen one. I've had a couple of other calendars, and I don't think I've seen one that it did it quite as nicely as this one did. And I did see one that somebody opened that was so full of yellows, and you know, I wouldn't have enjoyed that. Okay, so now we have our Christmas full skein to open, and it's starting to rip. I don't know if it's because I've handled it too often, but anyhow, I have not looked at it. So I just keep ripping around. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. And ooh, pull this off. Oh, look at that. There's your darker greens, a different green, your turquoise or aqua. There's a nice deep blue. Not quite purple, but boy, that certainly, see if I can, I'll take that pink off of there. See, it certainly goes with, look at how it matches those colors. Whoop, we're going to lose them off the front there. It really does match a lot of them so nicely. What a good match to all of them. Oh, we're almost into purple there. Very, very pretty. Now I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm not into making socks, so I'm not likely to try and make 2 socks and put a solid in the toes. I will probably make a scarf or shawl, a shawl of some sort. And my thinking is that I could make a decent sized shawl and every so often put in a solid section, just the solid colors, not the variegated. It would be too busy to go with this one. But every so often I could put in one of these solids. Not that one, I don't think. But I think that's what I might do is, it doesn't go with that one in my book. No. And then what's left, I could make another quite sizable shawl of some sort. So, and it's just nice and sparkly too. Can you see it? And that was a big bonus for me that it was done on sparkle, on a sparkle base. So I have to say, I am pleased with this advent calendar. I don't have any real complaints about it. Yes, not everything was my color, but you know, you can't have everything be your color. You got to appeal to everybody. But overall, I really liked these colors. Wow. Yes. Okay. So moving on. Hopefully next week I'll be able to show you the part I did in the first 8 days. Hopefully I'll get enough of that done. Now, moving on, last week I mentioned that I was expecting some yarn in the mail, and yes, it did come in this past week, and it is from Ravenswood, and I've shown you their yarn before, and I really wanted to show you what I got this time. I only got 2 items. One is a skein of yarn, and as always, it comes in vacuum sealed pack, and excuse me, and it's in just a plain manila envelope. And I'll show you this one quickly, but it was the other one that I ordered that I wanted to talk to you about for a few minutes. So we'll do that next. Here is the skein that I ordered. I thought was a little more teals and greens. I just hold it up until I can get it. There we go. And there go with some of the colors that were in the advent calendar. Again, you can see the sparkle just a flashing away there. And I really like this. I don't think It would be a good idea to put it with that. Has some of the same colors, but this one is much lighter, and I'll probably just make something single all by itself. It's got a fair bit of white in it, but it still has colors that I really like. Look at that nice deep purple there. And I like the aqua color. Very, very pretty. And that'll get made up before very long. Now, the other thing I got from them is something I'm not sure all of you would know. And it came in the vacuum sealed pack as well. And I already took it out of the pack to show you what is called a sock blank. So you say, why do you want that? It's already knitted up, small scarf. Now the purpose behind this, and I'm not going to do this, but the purpose behind this is they probably use a knitting machine to do this real quick. And they knit up this blank when the yarn is undyed. And they knit up two ply together, two strands. So instead of getting one long, they cut it in half and they take two strands, knit it together, and then they dye it. Okay, then they dye it. And when you get it, you unravel it and you make, now what I didn't expect, and I should have, is that there's quite a bit of white, because remember, it's all knitted up and then they dye it. So where it's stitched, the dye doesn't get in there. Okay? But when you take it apart, you wind it into two separate balls. So I will start from this end, split it, and wind each of them into a ball. I'll have two balls. And then when I'm all done, I'll be at the other end. And I'll start here at this end. And the point is you knit one, or knit or crochet, but I don't do either. You knit one sock from one ball and one sock from the other ball. And because they were dyed together, they will come out as two matching pairs of socks. I know there are places where you can buy two skeins of yarn that are supposed to be exactly the same to give you the same sock. Two socks the same. I have no intention of making socks. I've never made socks because I don't wear socks. So, but I loved, see that? I loved the colors in this. And I just intend to make a shawl or scarf out of it. Now, it's not going to make a big shawl, although I will do a more open weave with crochet. I could make a big scarf. I could make a scarf out of this. I don't wear a lot of scarves either. I think I'll more likely make something like this. It takes 400 meters, which is 437 yards, and that's how much is in this. Same amount as in my normal full skein. And it just means that I'll go all the way down, and then I'll start on the second one, go all the way down. It isn't going to be any kind of matching pair of anything. A person could make, fingerless gloves or something, leg warmers, I guess, whatever they wanted two of to match from this. I just bought it this way because it was a color I absolutely loved. And so I'm going to make something out of that after I unravel it all and make two balls. Now, that was all I had to really do this week. But in the meantime, this week, I received an order that I made from Little Bishes Stitches. And I thought, well, I'm showing you yarn. I would just go one step further and show you the order I received from Kat at Little Bishes Stitches, Catherine. People wanted to see it. I know Reggie wants to see it because she made an order as well. And I just thought, well, this is another hand dyer, indie dyer, that would be interesting for people to see. And she is in Germany. And at the time, she was having a sale on a few of these. And because I'm a follower of Reggie has a coupon. So by using that coupon, I got a very, very good price on the yarn. And I have to also say that even though it was coming from Germany, it came in pretty good time. And the shipping really was reasonable. I don't get shipping that cheap from some Canadians. And the US people, it's even more expensive. So I was really happy to get this order. It wasn't expensive at all. Now, I'm going to start. I don't know how many of you follow Reggie. Reggie has a channel called J Hook Crochet, and she also has Instagram and Facebook and everything on social media. And Catherine made this yarn in honor of Reggie. This is Reggie's favorite color. And I have to admit, this is one gorgeous color. It's a burgundy color. And the name of it is Less Wine, W-H-I-N-E, More Wine, W-I-N-E. If you watch Reggie's lives, she typically has a glass of wine to toast people as they join her channel or win a prize or something. So that is gorgeous, and I could see, Reggie, why you liked it so much. Every one of the ones I got are fingering weight. I prefer fingering weight. She calls this a soft sock. That's a tongue twister. Soft sock, bulky fingering. And it is, doesn't say on here, but if I recall correctly, it's 80% merino and 20% nylon. I don't have the breakdown here, but it is merino and nylon. Gorgeous, gorgeous color, tonal, so I can make something with this alone. Okay, then moving on. This was the other color I thought. It looked a little deeper on the website, but again, another tonal that I could make something by itself. I wonder if it matches. No, I don't think it does match these. I might be able to put a bit of color in it by using one of the minis. Anyway, again, it is the same breakdown, same name. This one is called Heat of the Ocean? Heart of the Ocean. Again, gorgeous all by itself as a tonal. And these two would make something in this line. I can see making some nice fashion scarves with these. So then moving on, again, another sort of solid color. This was one of the first ones that got my attention. I love this color. And this one is called Bewitched. Again, a tonal, although not as much variation in the color as there is, say, in this one. This one has a lot of variation, noticeable variation. This one is not quite, it's a little more solid. So this one I might decide to find, oh, not quite the same, but awful close to this. So I might be able to put in this or this. I think what I'm going to do is find another yarn that complements this and do a bigger item like a shawl and put in stripes. I'm not sure what color I would want to put with it. I have to think on that, but I really like the color. And I have to tell you, all of these are nice and soft, typical of a merino nylon blend. Now, we get into some things that are a little more interesting. Here is, and this is called, I think it's fake, whoops, upside down. Fake plastic Christmas tree. I always wonder how people come up with the names. I like the minty green color. I don't know if you can see all the splashes of color in it. There's not a lot. It's mostly green, and then there's very pale. It's a pale base that, although it may look white, is kind of very pale pink. And then up here we have yellow. And I notice a lot of dyers, when they want to mix colors, tend to throw in a splash of yellow. That's not too much yellow to turn me off the yarn. I really do like the yarn, but I wish some of them would get in their heads that not all of us like yellow. But I love the colors splashed in there. Nice deep teal, nice, just a little bit of purple. Who knows what we'll find inside when we unwind it. Oh, there's a little bit of purple there. Nice color. I like it. It'll be interesting to see how that crochets up. Nice soft color. I like it, the soft greens. Now, the next came as a pair. I ordered them to be together. I'll show you one at a time. I really like this. I wish now I had ordered two of these, because I don't have a lot of brown, and I don't typically order a lot of brown. I don't see a lot of browns that speak to me. But this one, it's not solid, which I like. It has some splashes of color in there. And it's called Gingerbread. Gingerbread House. Gingerbread House. So it has a little bit of color to alleviate the solid brown. It is a tonal. It goes light and dark, which I like. Oftentimes the browns aren't nice true browns, but this, look at that. It's a nice milk chocolate brown. And I bought it to go with this other one. This other one looks a little different than I saw online. It's not something I would typically order. It's called Run Run Rudolph, and that may be why I got it, because it has splashes of brown throughout it, but you can see it's got yellow that I don't really care for. But it has enough green and reds in it. Some of the green washes out to yellow. That's not my thing. But there's enough speckles of brown in it that my thought was to put these two together. See the browns coming through there? I would never make anything with this alone. It's just not my first choice of colors. Even though I do like the red that's in it, I do like the green that's in it, but there's too much of this other kind of look. It almost looks dirty. So I'm thinking I will put it with this, unless some other better idea comes along for me. See all the splotches of brown? Well, there's some other colors. There's green and that in it too, but I think it would really go good with this. But I like this brown so much, and it's such a nice tonal, that it would be gorgeous all by itself in a scarf such as this one back here. That may happen. Wish I had gotten two of these at the time, but it's not worth it to order one more, so I'll just have to keep my eyes open for more. Now, I did make an order from Little Bishes Stitches in the past, and I never showed it to you, so maybe in the new year I'll take one episode and I'll show you the other yarn from her that I got, and yarn from another company. I received yarn from another company this past week, and we're just running out of time, so I don't have time to show it, and I got some really unique yarns, so maybe in the new year I'll show you those yarns. But meanwhile, these are the yarns that I got, and I'm very happy with this order. And you're right, Reggie, that's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Now, next week is likely to be a very long episode. I hope you will join me for the final week of the year. It will be December the 30th, next Thursday. And possibly before you watch that video, you might want to go back and do a quick peek. I like to put two words together. A quick peek at video number 6. In video number 6, which was late in October, I went around the house and pulled out all these yarns, and the thumbnail has a picture of all of the 16 yarns that I pulled out that I've never stitched with before. They were different yarns. They weren't just different colors of something I've used before. No, they were totally different yarns I had never used before. And I set as a challenge to myself to try to use at least 8 from that group of 16 in a project before the end of the year. Now, there were 10 weeks till the end of the year, and I figured I should be able to do 8, possibly more. And so next week, I will tell you I met my challenge. But next week, I want to show you the yarns that I chose, tell you a little bit about the yarn, show you the item I made, and if I have a pattern that I followed, tell you about the pattern. So to show you that many items in one episode is going to go longer than a half an hour. It's likely to be anywhere between 40, maybe 45 or 50 minutes, might go a little longer, but that's all I'm going to do next week is show you the items I made from the 16 that I gathered. And I think you're going to be surprised at what I got done, how many I got done. And there are some quite lovely items in that group. So I hope you'll be back to join me next week. But before I say goodbye, I want to wish all of you a very, very Merry Christmas. I'm wishing all of you the blessings of Christmas. Love, peace, hope, and joy. I send those wishes out to all of you. And then until next Thursday, happy hooking.